Hey everybody, this is Joseph Hasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to the On the Mat Wrestling Show, and welcome back to my two favorite guys, Huge Pop Radio. I'm going to say it, and I always say it, Jimmy, Hall of Fame referee Jim Korderas, and finally, wearing the proper hat, Donnie DASILVA. The Yankees lose! All right, Donnie, the Yankees lose. And first of all, Jimmy, I'm going to give him maybe 10 seconds to do his soliloquy for everybody who rags on Vlad Guerrero. Go ahead. Vlad Guerrero, the key, and hopefully for the ALCS, we're going to get Boyle back in the Blue Jay uniform. But go ahead, give your thoughts on Vlad Guerrero, Donnie.
I mean, it's really simple. The people, the Toronto fans that hate on Vladimir Guerrero Jr., they do so for one reason and one reason only. They don't know baseball. They saw him sign the $500 million contract, and then they get this idea in their head of what that means. He has to have 100 home runs. He has to have 300 RBIs. Otherwise, he's useless. First of all, nobody judges a hitter anymore by those metrics. This is not 1982. We have other metrics that are better for evaluating a hitter. And based on those metrics, name me one single first baseman in the entire American League who had a better season, not playoffs, a better season than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You can't. And since you can't, shut up. And then he went into the playoffs and he absolutely wrecked house. Absolutely loved it.
Jimmy, any thoughts?
I can't say it any better than that. It's almost, you want to draw parallels between baseball and wrestling? Guess what? That's the perfect parallel right there. Vladdy Jr. is your, let me just say, your Cody.
Oh.
Or maybe even your Roman.
There we go.
Acknowledge him, Jimmy. Acknowledge him.
Yeah. He didn't only wreck the Yankees. You know what? Look what he did. $500 million deal, slimmed down. The guy could he defensively, he's shocking everybody. Nobody thought he had that kind of range at first base. Did you?
Defense was awesome.
I mean, he's already got 2 Gold Gloves. I mean, I know that he's under a bigger microscope now, but he's already a 2-time Gold Glover. To me, the guy deserves the Platinum Glove because he's that goddamn good and he saves runs as a first baseman. When do you say that? A first baseman saving runs. Like, the guy is so impactful on both sides. If you don't like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you simply don't like baseball.
And hold on, we talk about Vlad, one of the best players, but in this series, what about Ernie Clement? What about Nathan Lucas? Donnie, you're a big Blue Jay fan. I am a big Blue Jay fan. Jimmy, you're a big Blue Jay fan with Toronto and everything like that. But Nathan Lucas, Ernie Clement, all these guys coming. And what about the bullpen game? Everybody was scared about Aaron Judge, who hits home runs and all that. What does he do? He hit 500 this series, but they still lost.
There's nobody ever that's had 9 hits in a best of 5 where they only played 4. 9 hits and no one's talking about him. And I looked it up, and in the 4-game series, there's only ever been 3 other people ever to have 9 hits with 0 strikeouts. Ernie Clement is just a beast. And I know the fact that he was killing the Yankees. And the Yankee fans are looking at their shortstop, who's a piece of steaming dog poo. And they're thinking to themselves, how do we get this kid, Ernie Clement, that grew up a Yankee fan in Rochester, New York? How do we get him on our team? Well, he's arbitration eligible, so take a hike. We ain't letting him go anytime soon, guys.
And also, that guy loves hockey. He goes to Sabres game. We got to switch him to Maple Leaf games, all right? He goes to Sabres games a lot. Nathan Lucas with the big hit. Okay, I digress. We're going to talk baseball throughout the ALCS, but here we are. I'm going to ask Donnie. Donnie, first of all, SmackDown 8 a.m., Saturday, Crown Jewel 8 a.m. Are you up? And are you going to give me and Jimmy coffee?
Not a chance in hell. watch that crap when I get to it. No, 8 a.m. SmackDown. People work for a living, bro. Actually, I'm off on Friday. But regardless, no, I very seriously doubt I'll be watching live. I'll get to it. I'll watch it later in the day, but I doubt I'll be watching live. It's an awkward time of day for people in the Eastern Standard Time Zone.
And I think Monday Night Raw, 8 a.m. also, right, Jimmy? You're going to watch all three, right?
I look at it this way. You know what? I'm up anyways. I might as well tune in when it's playing. That way I got the rest of the day to myself. I don't have to worry about, okay, I got to get to it. I got to get to it. I got to get to it. When am I going to get to it? I got to it. It's done.
Yeah, but see, Jimmy lives the good life, right? Jimmy gets up in the morning, has a cup of coffee, he's got his lovely wife with him, and then he just sort of like figures out what he wants to do with the day because he's living the good life. And me, I got to be a working schlub that punches the clock every day.
They don't sugarcoat it, Donnie. You know how it is. I'm out here trying to get my Legends deal. I'm trying to shill for a paycheck, whatever. I don't know what the hell's going on. The blue check or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
All right. Well, it's certainly going to be something to watch at 8 a.m. if you're up at 8 a.m. because they're in Australia. And let's get to the card with the previews and everything like that. Let's first start off with Asuka and Kairi Singh against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Donnie, you'll start us off.
Yeah, a lot of interesting ways that this can go. I really thought that they were building towards the Kabuki Warriors upsetting the team of Rhea and Io. I really thought that's the way they were going. The fact that Io lost on Monday Night Raw to Kairi Sane, albeit, in a very cheap manner, makes me think that that's not the case. Makes me think that the baby faces are going to get their hands raised. I think that the heat is just so much better if Rhea Ripley eats the pin in Australia. Yeah. To me, that's the way to go. And I know all these people go, well, you can't have her lose in her home country. Jimmy, am I crazy? Like Vince McMahon used to almost intentionally make everyone lose in their hometown.
Yes.
Like, oh, you're from here? Lay down. Because it's better heat, right? I mean, it was almost always the thing. And I feel like over the last few years, wrestling fans have started to change their mindset in terms of how that works. AEW seems allergic to the concept of people losing in their hometown. It's like a cardinal sin. Nobody loses in there. Lee Moriarty would beat John Moxley if he was in his hometown. Like, it doesn't matter. Anybody wins in their hometown. But the way that Monday Night Raw played out this week, I think that the baby faces are going to get their hands raised. I think that's the wrong creative choice. I think there's a lot more heat, and if they just had the baby faces win, where does this go next? That's my thing, right? It's kind of donezo. Maybe Kairi betrays Asuka. Maybe Asuka's a solo act as a heel. I don't know, but to me, there's more legs on this story, and I'd rather see the heels get their hands raised, but I don't see it happening.
Hey, Jimmy, what do you say?
I'm going to hold out hope. I'm going to hold out hope that the heels do win because they got their heat. Asuka and Kairi Sane got their heat on Io Sky. That's who got, she got the blue mist and all that sort of stuff, and which she sold incredibly bad. But that's a different topic for another day. Don't get me started down that road. But like Donnie said, in today's day and age, one of the most difficult things is to get genuine heat. Mm-hmm. And if you want to get genuine heat, what better way? Because Rhea Ripley is like a goddess in Australia. So why not go down that road? Why not take a chance and see if the heat ends up on the right people? The Kabuki Warriors, you want them to be your heels? You want Asuka to be a big-time heel? There you go. It's right in your lap. It's right there. Take advantage of it. I mean, I don't see why they're afraid to go down that road if they are. But then again, we've seen crazier stuff.
Well,
To me, if they, sorry, I was going to say, to me, if they have the baby faces win, and it kind of brings to a halt the story with all four of these women connected, then the last 5-6 weeks feels like a waste of time. If all of that was to build up to a tag match with the baby faces winning and it's done, why are we investing our time on Monday Night Raw every single week with this angle? There are a lot of people that are really into this storyline. I'm not necessarily one of them, but there's a lot of people that think this is the best thing on TV right now. So extend it.
All right. Well, in that vein, Donnie, who you're going, you want the heel to win over the babyface who's from Australia. What do you say about Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns in an Australian street fight?
All I'm saying is the tribal thief needs to have his hand raised. That's how I 100% feel. Will it happen? I don't know. But I've been a fan of Bronson Reed's for a long time, and I feel like there's something there, man. Like there is really something there. Is he ever going to be the main guy in the company? Maybe not. Does he have the ability to be a top of the card heel that is always in the mix and always a threat? Kind of like Kane during the Attitude Era, 100%. Kane was never really your top guy. Even when he had his WWE championship, no one ever really saw him as the top guy. When you have Taker, Stone Cold, Rock, Shawn Michaels, all these bigger names, Kurt Angle, Batista, whoever it was. But to me, Bronson Reed could be in that ilk. But this is something that will really change people's perceptions of him. And the story's more interesting this way if he goes over. Roman Reigns could lose every match from here till the day he retires and it will not hurt him one bit.
All right, Jimmy, do you agree?
No, I agree with that assessment. But the other reason I want to see Bronson Reed win this match is because if you're trying to build the vision as a big time threat, then they have to beat people like Roman Reigns. Then they have to beat people that are at the top of the card. And it doesn't get bigger than Roman Reigns right now. And the only issue I might have with this thing is I'm afraid that Bronson Reed in Australia beating Roman Reigns will not get the desired reaction. They may cheer as opposed to boo. That's the only issue I might have with it. Other than that, Bronson Reed benefits greatly, immensely by beating Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns doesn't gain anything from beating Bronson Reed.
If there's one guy in the entire company that has a chance of keeping Bronson Reed heel in a one-on-one match in Australia, it is Roman Reigns. Anybody else versus Bronson Reed in Australia, that crowd is 100% backing Bronson Reed.
All right, next one, Donnie. AJ Styles versus John Cena. You can't see him. You can't see him. They make it a big. It's his go home. It's like he's been to Australia 150,000 times. Okay, maybe he's been to Australia 5 times during his career. I don't know, but what do you say? AJ and they had a great feud. AJ Styles, and it looks like they don't know what to do till December with John Cena. That's why the fans requested it. They went with it. What do you say?
You're asking me or Jimmy?
No, you first.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a match, right? It's just a match. There's no, I mean, AJ Styles said it. We don't need a story. It's good that you don't need one because you don't got one. So there's no story, there's no build, there's no nothing. This is strictly based on the fact that these guys had a program years ago, and I guess fans wanted to see it again. I'm not entirely excited about the match because I don't like watching matches for the sakes of matches. I like having something behind it. I want to have some meat behind it. Do I think the execution of the match, the X's and O's, will be good? Yeah, I'm sure it'll be good. Everything Cena's done for the last 4 or 5 months has been excellent. The best work of his career. And AJ is still very, very good. From a story perspective, though, AJ's character is ice cold. He's ice cold. There's absolutely no logic whatsoever for him to win, in my opinion. And they've made an issue about this whole John Cena getting his 100th PLE win, which is such a silly nonsense statistic. Like, since when are we keeping track of this kind of crap? But okay, fine. We're going to act like this is a huge milestone. Fine. I guess that's the way to go. But yeah, I don't see I don't see a reason for John not to have his hand raised.
Jim?
Yeah, I hate to sound like Captain Agreeable here, but there's no reason for John Cena to lose this match. How does it play out? Where does AJ Styles go after this? It's like Donnie said, it's just a match for the sake of having a good match. Will the match be good? I believe it will be. I think it's going to be a real good match. But at the same time, this is the trap that AEW falls in. Let's have a great match with two superstars, even though there's no story attached to it other than, hey, they faced each other in the past. It's kind of like the Daniel Bryan, Nigel McGuinness deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. The match is going to be great. But just because these guys met 15 years ago doesn't mean, we need to have it again now, especially with the limited amount of dates that he has. Now, basically you're wasting one of those dates on just a fantasy matchup, and that's it.
Okay, so here I'm going to ask you, till December, John Cena's last match, there's rumors that it's going to be Gunther and all that. I'm going to go back to Donnie for a second. I'm going to give you you know how to book, all right? Put it that way. I'm going to give you the book. Who do you book John Cena's last match, December 13th, in Washington against?
So Jimmy and I talked about this at length on this week's episode of Huge Pop, which just dropped. And so Jimmy remembers that in the summertime, my booking idea was John versus Gunther for the last match. And the reason that was my idea was because Gunther had just retired Bill Goldberg. And I thought he can go the rest of his career talking about how he retired Bill Goldberg and John Cena. Like how Chris Jericho still talks about the night he beat The Rock and Stone Cold. But everything changed. Everything changed in September when John Cena got obliterated by Brock Lesnar. The only match that makes sense for John's last match is Brock Lesnar. It's the only match that makes sense. Gunther would be great. In fact, it would be a better match than the match with Brock Lesnar. But there's no emotion behind it. And while the old story is, you go out on your back and you put someone over, I think he can have a match with Gunther leading up to Brock Lesnar. The story with Lesnar is the draw.
All right, Jimmy, what do you say? I know what you're going to say. You're in agreement because it's 100% true what he says.
Yeah, how can you dispute that logic? I mean, again, here's one of those deals where things changed on the fly, and you talk about someone doing I mean, in this case, if it is Brock Lesnar, you can do the proverbial, okay, he goes out as the hero, gets his hand raised, but that's not usually what someone does on the way out. Usually when they're on their way out, they do the honors, they go out on their shield, and against Gunther, I could see that happening. Against Brock, here's the thing. If it is Brock as his last match, Brock losing and Cena getting his win back on the way out doesn't hurt Brock. He's bulletproof. So if you want to have that happy ending for John Cena, there you go. If it's Gunther, now Gunther, who doesn't really need the rub, but puts him in a different stratosphere.
Yeah.
Now,
But where's other than, okay, Gunther wants to face John Cena and retire him. Other than that, how do you build to that in just 3 more appearances? It's tough.
but hold on. Let me ask you a question. How come nobody is talking about, forget about Brock, what about Rock? Because there was still a storyline that, again, it hasn't closed.
Yeah, but we said that about Cody too. I mean,
Yeah.
that night one when he pinned Cody in the tag match, everybody expected, okay, we can get Cody versus Rock somewhere down the line for the championship and have Cody defeat the Rock, and didn't never happen. And then all of a sudden, WrestleMania 41, he pulled a no-show.
Well, interesting. I knew you were going to say that. Interesting, because I got an email from Pam or Patricia, sorry, wanting to know what if at maybe this in Australia or Survivor Series that The Rock helps out Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman have a little bit of heat and everything like that, and that's my new guy, Seth Rollins, at which he will pin Cody Rhodes with the help of The Rock on Saturday. That's what I got an email from Patricia about. It makes sense. What do you guys say?
Go ahead, Jim.
But I don't see how it makes sense, because that story's long gone, and you haven't even sewed up the story with John Cena and Rock, which is the one that's currently going on right now. If anything, you want to do some fantasy, you want to do something really quick in fantasy, here's what you do. If it's going to be Gunther, have Gunther defeat John Cena. He gets his hand raised, and they leave Cena in the ring to absorb the adulation of the fans and the thank yous. And here comes The Rock now. And he cuts his scathing promo on, look it, you were my chosen one. You were the one that I picked, hand-picked. And you disappointed me, and have Cena give him his FU or whatever you call it. No, the rock bottom. No, what do you call it? The attitude adjustment, the AA.
Yeah.
Hits Rock with the AA, and then he goes out on a high note. Thank you very much. Yay, yay, yay. Everybody's happy.
Any comments, Donnie?
I think Patricia's been hitting the wine. I don't see any scenario where any of that is plausible, never mind logical. I promise you, Rock is not jumping on a, 20-something hour flight to go to Australia to do a run-in. That's not happening. No. I don't think Paul Heyman at this stage right now has any desire to replace Seth Rollins in his stable with a guy that's going to show up once or twice a year. Paul Heyman has earned the right to say who he wants to work with. And don't get it twisted. Jimmy can weigh in on this, but my feeling is, from everything Paul says, he is very interested in self-preservation. And he knows that being next to a guy who is a prominent part of the show each and every week is what is best for him. Can Paul get airtime without having someone beside him? Sure. Is that going to get old real quick because Paul doesn't bump? Yes. So you need to have someone prominent next to him each and every week. That won't be Rock. Okay. Now people go, oh, what about when he was with Roman? Roman wasn't there every week. You're right. But Roman's specter was always there. And then they had the bloodline as a whole, right? Yeah. If The Rock vanishes, the bronze are not enough to justify Paul's arrogance. That's all I'm saying. Is there a scenario where he could replace Seth Rollins with Brock Lesnar? Yeah, that exists. Because even if Brock is a part-timer, he looks like Ric Flair during the territory days compared to The Rock.
Yeah. All right, we got 2 matches left on this card. Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton. Let's go with Jimmy in this one. They'll begin.
Well, I believe that this one is a toss-up, but at the same time, you know, it appears that Stephanie Vaquer is the current golden child for the women's division. They really have put a lot of stock in her, but at the same time, Tiffany Stratton, look, I don't know, is she a heel? Is she a babyface? She acts like a heel, but you know, I don't know. For me, I look at Stephanie Vaquer as the one that they are strapping the Rocket to in the women's division right now. You know, gun to my head, I have to pick Stephanie.
Donnie?
I mean, I have less than zero interest because much like the Cena versus AJ Styles match, there is no story here whatsoever. And I know that that's going to happen with these crown jewel champion versus champion schlops, but at least they've tried to construct something between Cody and Seth. There's nothing happening here, like at all. There's just nothing of any interest to me in this match.
Go ahead. You okay, Donnie? Can we hear you?
Yeah, I think someone's under attack. I heard. What that was. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't have a lot of interest in this match. I'm with Jimmy. I think that there is a lot of work for Tiffany Stratton to do. In my opinion, she's still extremely green, and people who are fans get angry when I say stuff like that because they say, "How can you say she's green? She's been the champion for almost a year, and she's green. She's so green." Okay, and I'll give you one small example. Look at Io Sky. When Io Sky works as a babyface, what's the biggest pop of her match other than the entrance and the finish? Am I the only one hearing that?
Nope. Yeah, no, they're doing construction here, so I'm trying to cover up and all that. They're doing construction. Figures that I'm home all day and look. But anyways, and Jimmy's right with I think Stephanie is the crown jewel right now of the WWE.
Right, but what I was saying in terms of Tiffany's work, if you compare her to a babyface in the company like Io Sky, what's the biggest pop Io Sky gets every single match other than the entrance and the finish? What's her biggest pop?
Entrance and finish. I would say entrance and finish. I don't see
other than the entrance and finish. What's Io's biggest pop every single match?
Dancing around.
It's when she nips up, fires up, and hits her pointing at herself. And do you know why that's a huge pop every single time? A, it's likable. B, they sense her fire up. And C, because she does it once per match.
Yeah.
When Tiffany is going, it's Tiffany time 17 times before she gets to the ring, I want to turn off the TV because that shrill voice is driving me mental. Which would be great if she was a heel, but allegedly she is not. Please, Stephanie, just kick her ass. That's all.
All right, Jimmy, any thoughts to that, or we should go to the last match?
I think we should move on because, like Donnie, this,
Crown Jewel Championship, the Men's Crown Jewel Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. I'll go with Donnie first. Go ahead.
Go to Jimmy.
Well, I'm going to go to you first because of construction here. In case we can't hear you.
Well, construction's not here.
Yeah, go to Jimmy, man. I'm taking the.
All right, go ahead, Jimmy.
On everything here.
You know, I'll tell you what. Like Donnie said, for a lack of story here, they do have a history together, and I love the video packages they've put together. At least they're constructing a story as to why these guys are set to face each other, other than the fact that they both hold championships. I like Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins showing a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for?
Ass. Ass.
Well, okay, you can say it. You can put that word in, but it's almost like he is questioning whether or not he can defeat Cody Rhodes, being 3-0 against him. Yep. So there is a story in itself. At least they put something there. There's some meat on the plate for them to go at each other. Now, going into it, Paul Heyman dropped another bomb saying that maybe he's backing the wrong horse if he doesn't think so. You know what I mean? If he loses to Cody. That being said, again, it's one of those situations where Cody, in a loss, doesn't lose anything. Seth builds up more of his stock is beating Cody and being, again, leader of the Shield. So I'm going to go with Seth in this one, and finally gets off the schneid.
Okay, go ahead, Donnie.
I agree. Look, he's right. Jimmy is right. You can bet your car. You can bet your car that Seth Rollins wins this match. Okay. There's absolutely no reason. The only justification for Cody to win is if they've decided to spin Seth right out of the vision. And then they want to go that way. Really interesting creative angle, but why? Right? Like, you want Seth to be a babyface. His wife is still a heel. His wife is kind of in the vision. So what does that mean? What are you doing? I don't see that happening today. I think they've teased the fact that Paul might get rid of him. They've teased the fact that Bronze would lose respect for him. And I think they continue to tease that all the way to WrestleMania. I think if Seth is going to in the face, that's where it's going. Holy cow, that's loud.
Yeah.
Listen, I have to live with this all the time, but I want to conclude that's Crown Jewel. But on Sunday, TNA has their WrestleMania called Bound for Glory happening in Lowell, Massachusetts here. I'm not going to go through the card, but Donnie, give me one match. Are you looking forward to Trick versus Santana? Are you looking for Javon Evans and Leon Slater? One match that you're looking forward to on the card.
I mean, I'll tell you, and it's not going to be the match anyone else is going to pick, or at least most people aren't going to pick Jimmy, Mike, because Jimmy and I think very similarly. I want to see the Hardy Boys versus the Dudleys.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and who do you think goes over?
I don't care.
The Hardys just captured the title.
I would assume the Hardys have to go over because I don't think Devon's coming back full time.
Right.
I'm actually shocked Devon's working at all based on the health situation he's had over the past bunch of years. I thought he was done. So this is special. This is one of the reasons I'm so excited to see it. Like, I'm curious to see, are they going to work around Devon's health? Are they going to let Devon go full bore? Is Bubba going to basically be the Ricky Morton of this? I'm really curious to see how they build this match out. I'm assuming they made it a tables match, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm assuming there's going to be some broken tables, and whether or not it's one or more, we'll see. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man. Like, but that being said, I think the entire show is really intriguing. I'm loving TNA right now. I think they do really, really good television. And people get hot when I say this because they think I'm some kind of like WWE paid spokesman. But to me, TNA is just so much more entertaining right now than AEW. It's not close. And the reason is because they put emphasis on building characters and story. You're seeing 75,000. That's just me.
All right, so Jimmy, your thoughts, and then we conclude it.
No, I agree. He stole my thunder with the Hardys and Team 3D. But you know what? I am really looking forward to two really quickly 2 matches. Of course, Trick Williams, Mike Santana, and Frankie Kazarian and Steve Macklin. I think is going to be a really good match. I am very curious to see how Leon Slater and Javon Evans work. I don't want them to go full out 100 miles an hour throughout the entire thing. That's the thing I'm afraid of. I want to see if these guys can slow their pace down and tell a story without having to rely on the athleticism that we know they can do. They can do that high flying, twisting, burning 450 hammer Phoenix splashes. They can pull it out if they want it. But I want to see if they insert stuff like that when necessary, as opposed to let's just have a spot fest.
You know what'll be interesting there in that match, Jimmy? Who's going to lead that match?
The referee.
They're going to need Daniel Spencer in the ring.
Yes.
They're going to need really.
That's it. But like Donnie said, TNA with the partnership of WWE it's taking off. So let's see if they continue past this year and going into next year and all that. And let's say this: TNA negotiating a serious TV deal, and that's much needed now. That's much needed, and let's hope with this they went head to head with AEW this week on Title Tuesday, where no titles went on the line. All right, let's not talk about AEW, okay? Jimmy or Donnie, tell us what's on Huge Pop Wrestling this week.
This week on Huge Pop, we have a really, really fun interview with Shelly Martinez. WWE fans might remember her from their version of ECW when she was Ariel. Of course, she was also in TNA as a valet for LAX when her name was Salinas. Of course, she's been all over the wrestling world for 25 years. Also a model and an actress. Very intelligent, very candid, very open, and a lot of fun. And also on the show, Jimmy and I break down a whole bunch of different topics from the world of wrestling this week. And we also field the issue of the death threats that we received last week as a result of our interview with Gail Kim. So, for you.
Okay, hold on. Jimmy never told me that he's getting death threats, and you guys never called me. I'll take care of those. Anybody who sends death threats to Huge Pop Wrestling, all right, has to go through the president of the provinces of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, and soon to run for the mayor of Mozambique. I can't spell it, but I can run for it since Donald Trump is the president. All right, seriously, what are you fans and wrestling personnel sending death threats to people who are reporting the news?
Well, it's really simple. First of all, Joe, we didn't need to tell you. It was all over social media.
You think I follow social media? I'm at the Leafs. I'm at the Raptors. I'm trying to invite Donnie. He says, let me check my schedule. I got to get a coffee. I got to get my nails done. I got to get my hair done. Now he's wearing a Blue Jay hat. Come on. All right. But
yeah, because I just became a Blue Jay fan yesterday. You're right.
Yeah. 45 years ago. Come on.
So anyway, the issue is there is a very toxic subsect of the wrestling fan base. I'm not going to say who they're a fan of, but a very toxic subset that as soon as you talk in any way, constructively, negatively, anything about their product, they descend into toxicity and threats and hate and anger. So we got a little bit of it this week. Is it going to change us one iota? Nope. Do we care? Nope.
And number one, okay, first of all, forget about social media. Donnie's like 6'7", and he can hit a baseball like Vlad Guerrero. All right, so put it that way. Anybody wants to go up against Jimmy and Donnie, I'd advise not.
I'll tell you what, Joe. I may not be able to hit a baseball like Vlad Guerrero, but I could swing a bat.
Yeah, Jimmy's a ninja. Don't even get it twisted. Jimmy will mess someone up. Jimmy once tackled Mark Henry. Okay, so listen, let's just not get it twisted.
All right. Well, first of all, and this is why you got to check out Huge Pop wrestling show. All right. This is what, if they're getting death threats, they're the talk of the town. All right. They're the talk of the town. That's why like they say, any publicity is good publicity, be it bad or good. And Donnie, controversy creates cash.
I've heard that.
I've heard it.
Yeah,
too.
that's it. He got a little white in the top there also. All right. So tell everybody how they could get a hold of you social media wise, Donnie, and then we'll go to Jimmy.
The best way to find me is on Instagram, Donnie.DaSilva. You can also find Huge Pop Show on Instagram, hugepopradio.com. You find everything there.
All right. And that show's tremendous, and we're proud to carry it on the Fired Up Network. Jimmy, go ahead.
Yeah, Donnie covered Huge Pop Radio. Of course, you can catch my ref and rants on all my social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter. I still refuse to call it X. And of course, Facebook, and just me ranting for about a minute and a half, spewing some stuff. And if you don't like what I have to say, I don't care.
Okay, but I gave Donnie his props with the Jays. I got to give you your props with the Tennessee Titans coming back and getting a huge pop victory.
Right? My good. Last minute, last second field goal. I'll take the win. Again, getting off the schneid. It's about freaking time. Come on, we gotta get some protection for Cam Ward, man. The guy's getting killed over there.
That's a very big win. All right, and Donnie, enjoy your coffee and enjoy your sleeping and everything like that. You probably watch the Premier Live event, at 3 p.m. or whatever. But don't forget SmackDown 8 o'clock, and Saturday the Premier Live event, Crown Jewel 8 a.m., Raw 8 a.m., and in between them Sunday we got Bound for Glory 8 p.m. Check it out; it's going to be great there. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, Donnie. Thanks, Jimmy.